We're talking about how to expand to additional sales channels other than Amazon and generate sales on your website. With us, we have a special guest, Zach Gresham, owner of GreshamGroup.com. He's worked with clients from the TV show Shark Tank, from the multi-million-dollar Amazon brands like Simply Human, Bark, Perry Water, and even Tampa Buccaneers NFL football team, if you've heard of them. Today, Zach is going to share how he's helped his clients expand their revenue streams beyond Amazon, creating additional sources of income. At the end of the video, he'll also give you some pro actionable tips you can use right now to expand your business off of Amazon. Without further ado, let's dive in. Zach, how's it going?
I'm doing great, man. How are you today?
Hey, I'm killing it. I'm doing great. I know it was like 7 years since we met at the University of Tampa. We were both starting our own companies and trying to get out of college as quickly as possible. But, do you miss those days? Do you miss the college life?
Yeah, it's funny. I was thinking about it the other day, and all of our journey, it began there. The entrepreneurial experiences, all the fun. So I would say it was a good time, but glad that we've moved into bigger and better things.
What out of curiosity, what were you studying? What did you get your degree in?
If you couldn't guess, it was entrepreneurship. So,
Okay.
entrepreneurship and marketing. So I did follow the path of career. Came from the college experience, but it was awesome.
That is all. And UT was pretty decent. I can't complain about University of Tampa. The college experience, I think it does help depending on the college. I think college isn't for everybody, but hey, we did it, and we ended up with our own businesses. So, but any projects you're excited about in May? Anything that's coming up in May that you're about to start working on?
Yeah, we've actually kind of moved heavily into the marine product space. So we do have a few new clients that we're onboarding in the month of May. I can't name some big names, but there are a couple of yacht manufacturers and then marine technology products. So that's been an awesome revenue stream for us, and just a really exciting market to work in. There's nothing bad about working with boating companies, especially when you get to create content and shoot video content with those brands as well. So we're expecting a good May.
That's pretty lit. You're living the yacht life. You're already part of your job. Now you're doing everything. Football, yachts, Amazon products. That's cool. And that leads me into the first company you were talking about. You mentioned you've worked with Aquavault and they were on Shark Tank. Did you want to share what you did with them? How did you help them expand off of Amazon? Why did they want to expand off of Amazon?
Definitely. Yeah, Aquavault was already seeing a huge success from a scalability perspective. Their Amazon account was incredible. One of the most top performing Amazon brands that I had worked with. And honestly, it just came from having a really quality set of products that are exciting and intriguing and actually useful in everyday life. So being on Shark Tank was an amazing, vehicle for them to use as far as proof point, having that as a tag on all of their product pages. But the Aquavault team really kind of looked to us to say, hey, how do we create more sales without paying money to Amazon to do so? And obviously having their own, drop shipping and packing and picking and those types of things, they have to do that still, but they put more money in their pocket, which is really cool.
Yeah, I know Amazon charges now their fees with the storage fees and everything, it becomes like a whole business partnership where Amazon's like a business partner that tells you what to do and what you can do, what you can't do. Off of Amazon, are the fees a lot cheap? Like, is it like 5% per sale, or is it even less than that if you're selling on your own website? Just out of curiosity, is there like a wage usually?
Yeah. I mean, you got to think about the fulfillment cost. Sometimes there are merchant fees that Shopify and other online platforms charge, but for the most part, it's a significantly lower cost than kind of partnering with Amazon.
What is their product exactly? Like, so what did you bring off of Amazon? Is this just like a phone protector, or is it multiple products?
Yeah. So Aquavault started as literally what its brand name is called. So they had an Aquavault for your phones and other valuable items that you would bring to a beach or a pool or something like that. So that was the original product that the team there invented, and that's what kind of took off. Now they went into this like portable credit card sized phone charger a few years after that, and that quickly became their highest selling product. So I mean, it's literally this little slim phone charger that you can put in your wallet within the card slot, but still has the ability to charge your phone. So super portable. They now sell business to business, so they're branding these company logos and things like that on the back and giving them up as gifts to their clients or employees and things like that. But yeah, they've kind of expanded into a few different revenue streams, which is really exciting.
That's awesome. So, okay, so they said, Zach, I need help. We want to make more money. Get us off of Amazon. You got them off of Amazon. Zach, why did Aquavault decide to actually expand off of Amazon? Like, obviously for money, but why did they decide to expand? And what's the first thing you did for them when you expanded off of Amazon?
Yeah, absolutely. So Aquavault, they had crushed it on Amazon. They had a very unique product, no competition, just did really well. But their main focus at that point was increasing margins, making more money on every product sale. And obviously the website route made a lot more sense for them, not paying Amazon those ridiculous fees and storage and all of these types of things. So, the thing that was most successful and the first strategy that we employed was getting them higher on search. So, when someone types in protect my valuables on the beach, or the best way to, deter theft from my beach items, we want Aquavault to show up first, right? There's no payment to Google for that search. There's nothing coming out of the Aquavault pocket other than time and effort spent to get them ranking for those keywords. So, for us, that was a win strategy, just because of the fact that they didn't have any competition. They didn't have any competitors that they were trying to outrank for these keywords. So it was a very quick climb to the top from an SEO perspective.
Got it. And so it was like 100% on Amazon. You expanded to them off of Amazon. How much percentage are they doing off of Amazon now? Just out of curiosity, are they doing a lot more off of Amazon, or?
Yeah, they do about 43% revenue from their website. So
Dang.
Obviously that's social media pushing into the website. That's influencer campaigns. That's Google search, efforts like SEO, and then there's also different ad campaigns as well. But again, that all bolsters the fact that they're not paying those crazy margins to Amazon.
That's insane. Okay, so obviously whatever you did worked, and that wants me to transition to the next client. You were talking about Scott with Bad Carts. They were on Amazon. Were they on Shark Tank as well, or are they just separate? They just created something different.
Yeah, they weren't on Shark Tank, although they probably should be. I think it would be a perfect Shark Tank pitch. But with Bad Cards, the focus for them, they were actually pushed heavily through social media. TikTok, Instagram, that was a big push for them. But the problem was they were pushing people to their Amazon store. They weren't pushing them to a website, right? So again, similar product style where they don't have a lot of competitors. So Amazon, they do really well. The majority of their revenue still comes from Amazon. But again, Scott wanted to decrease the amount of money that he's spending on each sale itself. So for Scott, we wanted to create a location where you could sell product on the website. We could drive in net new organic traffic to the website to sell product, again, without spending that money for Amazon to take care of that for you.
Was a lot of that initially SEO? Was there a big difference between Scott and your other client, Aquavault, or did it start the same? Like, you specifically started with SEO first? Is it always SEO first?
Yeah, it definitely was a different strategy. So where Aquavault already had, phone chargers, beach chair safes, these kind of things, they were new, and then they became, competitive. With Scott, no one had even heard of the product style. It's a golf card game that you play while you're playing golf. It's almost like Cards Against Humanity during a round of golf. So that was a totally white space area. There was nothing else around that space. So for Scott, the biggest revenue stream actually became driving people in for golf gifts. So, best gift to get my dad for Father's Day, best gift for golfer. What should I get my husband for Father's Day that's a golfer? And we want to rank for those types of keywords. Just because, again, if you search bad cards for good golfers or golf card game, you actually get totally different search results, the wrong type of search party. So for him, gifting has been the biggest thing and the biggest success driver.
Got it. So, and then I'm assuming you have to have knowledge and specialized tools to even figure that out, because most people wouldn't be able to figure that out unless, like, how do you even know you're going to do gifts instead of targeting bad cards on Google? Completely different than Aquavault.
Yeah, absolutely. So most of these conversations that we have with our clients, they begin with the strategy. Who is the target market? Who's the person purchasing the product? I'm sure many of us know this, but sometimes it's not the actual user of the product. It's the husband of the wife that uses the product. It's the wife of the husband that uses the product. It's a mother buying for their kids, and so on. So we need to understand who is actually making the conversion. So once we understand who the target market is that actually purchases, although the person that uses it may be different than the purchasing party, we then take that in to do keyword research on Google. So with certain tools, you can understand what the search volume is for one word typed into Google versus another. And most of the time, you'll see very highly competitive keywords that inhibit most people from ranking easily for those keywords. So again, depending on the strategy, some companies have a budget to target those high value, high traffic keywords, some don't. But really just, again, coming back to the strategy of how do we hit our target market at the lowest cost per acquisition possible while seeing success, seeing conversions, seeing product sales from those marketing efforts.
Got it. That makes complete sense. You need to have a different strategy depending on the client, and that sounds pretty specific. But just in general, what's the number one thing someone should do today to expand off of Amazon? Like, let's say they already created their website. Now, what do they do? What's the number one in general? What should they do? What's the focus on?
Yeah. So if there already is a website, making sure that website is ready to convert website visitors would probably be the first thing to hit. So the way that we normally approach this is thinking about the user journey. Is it an easy to understand product? If so, how do we get people to those product pages? How do we intrigue them as quickly as possible to make that purchase? So what we think about usually is just making sure our on-page optimization, the way the website is structured, the way the format is built out, is friendly to what Google wants to see. So Google has a set of parameters that they basically grade websites on, based on how your pages are laid out, how the content flows, and you hit certain parameters and you increase your searchability within Google. So making sure our website is well optimized for Google doesn't cost a dime, right? It's just time and effort. So educating yourselves on how I build my website to ensure that it is in the perfect design and format for Google is priority number one. You don't need an agency. At some level you do, but for the most part, you can do this work on your own, is on-page optimization. Now, the second thing that I would say is what's called ongoing SEO work. So this is how your website ranks for certain keywords that people type into Google. So again, let's use Aquavault, for example. Credit card sized phone charger may be the Google query that you put in, the search that you're putting in. You want to rank for that term. And the way to do that is to create organic and unique content on your website that relates to that keyword. And that's how you slowly climb the search results to then show number one for a certain keyword.
Got it. So then all of those two tips, people could go out, learn themselves and do it themselves initially. That's what you're saying?
Absolutely. Yeah. And fortunately, with all of our AI resources that we have nowadays, most of those AI tools can relatively accurately analyze a website and say, hey, these are the things that you need to fix based on those preset Google parameters. And, it's one of those things in marketing that unfortunately, as an agency owner, I wish I could say it was rocket science, but it's just time and effort. It's the time to learn how Google analyzes your website, how visitors find websites on Google and to create a more optimized website for those different structures. It's just kind of a process that you need to learn, but there are a lot of resources out there, a lot of tools that are available to make that process.
Got it. That makes complete sense. And let's say I own a business, but I'm too busy. I'm focused on Amazon. I want to hire somebody. Where can they reach out to you to help them expand off of Amazon? Where's the best place?
Absolutely. So obviously our website would be a great place to find resources. We have case studies, success factors that we've driven for our clients. One of the things too that we like to do, just as kind of a freebie, is what we call a free SEO audit. So again, take it or leave it. If you want to become a client, we'd love that. But if you just want to have better visibility to what's going on in your website and why it's not converting, why it's not creating those user journeys that we want, we can send a link down below and provide that. But filling out an SEO audit, getting that audit back and kind of having that 30,000 foot view of what's wrong with my site is usually a good starting point to where you can take action on that, whether it's doing your own research and starting your own SEO work or hiring a professional firm like ours. There are a lot of different ways that you can take that to be successful.
Awesome. No, that sounds great. And I know we don't have much time left, but what we're going to do is just do a few quick questions. If you answer them just in a few words, that would be amazing. My first question is, what's the biggest challenge Amazon sellers face when moving to Shopify or WordPress?
Yeah, that's a great question. So the challenge that most companies face when switching to Shopify or WordPress is taking control of their marketing. There's so many different ways to market products, whether it's social media, whether it's website, whether it's Google Ads, SEO, but understanding which channels will actually be profitable is the risk that most of those business owners take. So, I'm sure you could think of 50 different companies, Josh, that have experienced this, but a lot of companies hop in and say, Google Ads are the way. But it's expensive to run Google Ads, and there are ways to generate sales that don't require you paying up front. So taking an understanding under your belt of what we need to do that still fits our budget would be the first step.
Great answer. One more question is, how long does it typically take for an Amazon seller to actually see traction? Like, when should they be like, whatever I'm learning, it's not working, I should just hire Zach and his company? How long? Is it 5 months, 10 months they've been doing SEO and they still haven't generated a sale? What is that timeline usually, you think, for a new or somebody that's expanding off of Amazon?
Yeah, listen, all different marketing channels, whether it's SEO, whether it's Google Ads, they all have different values, different channels, different timelines to the success. But usually what we like to say is within 90 days of starting a new marketing effort, you should be seeing results. You should be seeing sales, you should be seeing conversions. Granted, it may not be the perfect conversion rate or the perfect return on ad spend or anything like that. But if within 90 days you're not seeing success, it's probably a time to re-strategize. And we'd obviously love to be a resource for that new strategy in place.
Awesome. Well, that pretty much wraps it up today. Thank you so much, Zach, for your time to help out other fellow Amazon sellers. And also, if you guys want to contact Zach, the link's going to be right in the description to contact him. And he's happy to help and make sure that your business is succeeding off of Amazon, just like he did for Aquafit and Aquavault and Bad Cards for Good Golfers. Well, that's pretty much it, Zach. Anything else you want to add before we close this out?
No, that's pretty much it. I'm super happy to have been here today, Josh, and excited to see where we can go with it.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Zach. Sweet.